Tonight, South Australians urged to remain COVID alert, and a funding boost announced for wireless aged care providers.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. The state government says it's still on track to scrap close contact quarantine rules from the end of next week. Despite our region seeing increases in active cases, local businesses are embracing the change in rules.
No room for complacency. COVID numbers across the region continue to fluctuate. After back-to-back long weekends filled with family and public gatherings, active cases have risen in both Port Pirie and Port Lincoln from this time last week.
This current wave, we've seen many more cases of COVID-19 in our community, but we haven't seen that replicated in terms of hospitalisations.
Port Pirie's active cases sit at 347 as of today, with Port Lincoln at 413. Port Augusta currently has 272 active cases, while Whyalla cases have lowered to 455. The state government urging communities to not underestimate the virus.
In each and every instance, we'll be making judgments accordingly, but I don't think there will be any point in the coming 12 months and longer where we'll say the pandemic is over.
However, the Health Minister says we are still on track to drop close contact rules next week.
We are on track to make that close contact definition change coming in from this Saturday morning, which was going to bring a lot of relief to many South Australians, particularly small businesses.
Local retail and tourism industries say changes will help reduce staff shortages.
Ultimately, that will deliver confidence and it will deliver a better business outcome for those business owners and those people that are working in the tourism industry to make sure that they've got jobs going forward.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
As the state of aged care becomes a hot election issue, the federal government has announced a $10 million funding commitment for wireless aged care providers. It's expected the funds will be used for facility upgrades at Helping Hands 2 sites.
It's a major boost in the quality of care for seniors in the Upper Spencer Gulf. The current member for Grey announcing a $10.3 million funding commitment to support the renovation and upgrade of Whyalla's 2 aged care centres.
People today that are retiring are looking for far better facilities than perhaps their parents were. And our expectation is now that we will have private rooms.
Shared bathrooms and living quarters at Yeltana will be replaced by individual private rooms and en-suites, allowing for greater privacy. However, the investment will not cover an increase in capacity. The licences for 52 extra beds brought on by the closure of Annie Lockwood last year will not be utilised at this time.
I don't think this is a big jump in capacity, but that may well be the next step. But as I said, it's important to get that balance right. So you don't want to overstep the mark either. You need to monitor where you are.
Adelaide-based organisation Helping Hand replaced Kindred Living as the operators of the facilities late last year. Their CEO says feedback from the community has been positive since the handover.
We've been thrilled with the response from the Whyalla community, from the staff and the residents here in the homes and also in the home care operations area.
The commitment is subject to the coalition being re-elected. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has also announced a pledge to create 450,000 jobs in regional Australia. The plan is expected to take 5 years and is part of a larger pledge for 1.3 million more jobs nationwide. However, Senator Rex Patrick wants the Commonwealth to outline a concrete deal for the plan.
It's not okay to simply stand and pledge a commitment to greater things. You actually have to have a plan to deliver it.
According to the government, the regional unemployment rate has fallen to 4% since 2013. Port Lincoln rental properties are becoming a rarity, with the town recording its lowest vacancy rates in more than a decade. Experts say a high demand in the housing market will see rent prices surge in coming months.
It's a growing crisis across the nation, leaving many Australians homeless. A lack of new developments and vacancies has tenants in Port Lincoln bracing for a spike in what they pay.
In Port Lincoln, you're looking at a 0.33% vacancy rate. That's 0.33%. So that is a very, very tight market. 3%, just to give you an idea, is a comfortable market.
Currently, there are only 24 rental properties available in the city, a figure not seen in 10 years.
Since Christmas, the market has just continued where we left off. The rental market is still very, very strong, probably the lowest vacancy rates we've seen for 15 years. So it's just so hard to get rental properties in the moment.
The looming election also spooking developers, with many pausing projects as they await the result.
You know, for developers, they don't want to start development applications and start construction. And not forgetting the rise of the cost of construction at the same time. It's just a little bit too risky for them to get the ball rolling on building new projects.
The average rent in Port Lincoln sits at $325 compared to $295 just 18 months ago. Some investors, however, are also capitalising on the boom, which is seeing stock removed from circulation.
I think there's a few people sitting on them. There's a few people moved back into their investment properties, and a few of them are making use of the high sales market and selling their rental properties, and that puts more stress on the available homes for rent.
Recent census data estimates more than 290,000 Australians are homeless. Experts calling for more developments to be approved.
Land appreciates, building depreciates. So make sure you invest your money wisely.
So we do need some land developments. That would absolutely take some ease and relax the market a bit.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, United Australia Party leader Craig Kelly campaigns in Port Lincoln, and Broken Hill's best runners preparing to raise a sweat for charity. Welcome back. Port Augusta's community has been left shocked by the alleged disrespect shown to Anzac Day wreaths, which were laid during Monday's commemorations. Pictures provided to 7 Spencer Golf News saw them torn apart and thrown into grass, adjacent to the Gladstone Square War Memorial. Community members say they believe this and other recent incidents have been brought on by increased antisocial behaviour in the city. The leader of the Clive Palmer-backed United Australia Party visited Port Lincoln this morning. Federal MP Craig Kelly making time to speak with locals to talk about the party's policies ahead of next month's election.
The United Australia Party making their presence known in the regions. Craig Kelly and the party's candidate for Grey, Susan Waters, today met with Port Lincoln voters.
The United Australia Party at this election is giving the electors of this country and the seat of Grey a real third choice. And I just ask people, look at our policies that we've got and how they'll benefit you, especially in regional areas such as Grey.
Known mainly for their anti-COVID mandate policies, Mr Kelly was keen to talk up their tax plans.
Now, our policies down here in Port Lincoln, a 20% reduction in your taxation rates, both your personal taxation rates and your company tax, because you are 200 kilometres away from a major capital city.
Miss Waters is originally an Eyre Peninsula local growing up in Woodner. She says she's ready to take over in the Liberal stronghold.
So I've been as far as Ceduna, right up towards Gawler, down the Yorke Peninsula, but we're going to just keep going down here, the Eyre Peninsula. We're just going to keep covering all our bases, just go and visit everybody, because I know everybody has a story and everybody has a right to have their story heard.
The party also looking to put revenue back into the regions.
Revenue is raised here through agricultural and fishing, aquaculture. So we've actually got a policy where all this revenue that's raised in a region, a minimum of 25% of that will be spent back in that region.
Their date with Destiny isn't far away, with the election just 3 weeks away. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The first half of the Joy-Baluke Bridge duplication is almost complete, with construction getting ready to switch over to the other side. The new pedestrian access is also taking shape, with the Mayor predicting it will become a tourist drawcard.
After months of work, this multi-million-dollar project is nearing the finish line. Excitement is growing in Port Augusta as the new section of their bridge nears completion.
Look, from start to finish, it's a work of art. It's a lot of mastery goes into this. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't get to see the top deck as it grows.
The driving surface is almost complete, with the length of the bridge now covered in bitumen.
It's good to see the bitumen on the bridge itself, and I can't wait to be able to walk across the bridge.
Heavy concrete barricades at the two entrances are also in place, while work has begun on the pedestrian walkways.
I was fortunate enough to walk the bridge. It's absolutely amazing. I take my hat off to the tradesmen and the people that manage that project. I mean, the attention to detail is absolutely amazing.
The spiralling ramps leading up to the walkways also taking shape. The Mayor says their unique look will gather interest in a similar way to Wyler's Jetty.
The walkway over the east side is absolutely amazing, so when you get the nice weather and the clear days, that'll attract tourists, I'm sure.
Attention will soon turn to the other half of the project, where an upgrade to the existing bridge is set to begin next month.
Opposite side of the new bridge will pretty much look like the new one.
Job well done, everybody, and it'd be good to see that opened up so we've got a duplication both ways instead of the 40 k's limit at the moment.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
2 Broken Hill community groups are joining forces to raise funds for youth counselling in the city. They're challenging locals to hit the pavement and run 5 kilometres for the cause.
A call for Broken Hill's residents to get their running shoes on. The PCYC and Lifeline looking to raise funds and help young people get moving again.
Going back a couple of years, I really wanted to try and get the Couch to 5K sort of concept up and running, just to get people moving again.
Michael pleased to bring his 2 passions of fitness and mental health together. He's also proud to be working with Lifeline again after doing their accidental counsellor program.
Been involved with a few things Lifeline's done, such as accidental counsellor and things like that, and it's really, really rewarding programs.
The run will start at Queen Elizabeth Park 9 a.m. on May 28th and finish at the PCYC. An exhibition day will also be held at the finish line.
We'll have some guest speakers around sort of the mental health field. We'll have some food, sort of refreshments, and just a sort of fun day for everybody.
The event catering for people of all paces.
So we've sort of worked it out that even at a walk, it should take about an hour. Some people, obviously, faster runners or a bit more endurance will get here a bit quicker, but that's sort of what we've allowed time-wise.
Lifeline says the well-being of the city's youth is an issue both groups are passionate about.
That is something that needs to be constantly funded. The youth need to sort of always be looked after and nurtured, and we can try and do that through Lifeline, and so does PCYC, so it made total sense.
If you or someone you know needs help, call Lifeline on 131114. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. We'll check the latest news on the region's fuel prices. And grants now available for Broken Hill's most creative people and groups. A man has lost his licence for 6 months after a traffic stop in Moonta Bay. Police stopped the rider just after 4 p.m. on Monday. The 29-year-old underwent a breath test, allegedly returning a positive reading of .093. Further checks showed the bike was unregistered and uninsured. He was charged with numerous offences and will appear in court at a later date. The bike was impounded for 28 days. West Darling Arts has opened applications for its latest round of grants. The programme supports community arts in regional New South Wales, with Broken Hill groups and individuals urged to apply for a share of funding.
Supporting and helping art prosper in Western New South Wales. The organisation ready to aid those wanting to make a name for themselves.
Oh, look, we found that there's probably a need, I think, for giving a bit of support to artists, professional artists.
For the first time, grants will be given to individuals as well. Artists from Wilcannia to Wentworth to even Tibooburra are encouraged to apply.
There's grants for up to $5,000, which are for organisations such as, it could be an arts organisation, but you might be an incorporated association.
Painters and sculptors are also invited, along with dancers and musicians. However, applicants will need to contact the organisation before they apply.
Also open to dance, to music, to other types of performance, so it's really broad.
Marilyn Harris for the Moxie Drama Club is a former recipient of the grant. The funding allowed her to bring actors from Sydney out to the region for workshops with members. She's encouraging people to get their ideas in and secure a share of the funds.
Yes, definitely. It's not too hard to do. Kathy Ferry can help you anytime that you need some help to do it.
Applications close on May 31st. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
It's time now for a weekly look at the region's average fuel prices. And while regular unleaded prices are continuing to fall, the average cost for diesel is on the rise again. Here's Mark Zeta with this week's Fuel Watch.
While drivers with standard petrol cars will reap the benefits of another week of decreasing prices, unfortunately there's price pain at the pump for those with diesel cars. It's green arrows all around for the average price of unleaded in the Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill. The latter selling the cheapest at $1.71.5 a litre. Whyalla with the second cheapest unleaded in our viewing region. Port Augusta, the only centre in the Spencer Gulf, selling fuel at over $1.80 per litre. You'll also be getting a good deal if you're filling up in Kadina. However, if you're driving to Adelaide for the weekend, it's not good news for you. Prices have risen dramatically by 30 cents a litre, with the metropolitan area entering the high phase of their price cycle. The advice is to shop around for the best deal. Turning to diesel now, and unfortunately it's red arrows all across the board. Port Augusta motorists feeling the pain, with the city selling diesel at just over $2 a litre. Kadina, on the other hand, has the cheapest diesel at $1.91. Broken Hill sitting at the middle of the range with prices. Whyalla selling diesel at $1.95. Like with unleaded, those heading down to Adelaide will not see any relief, with prices there in the same range as back home. Moving to autogas, and prices have remained steady from last week. Kadina is the only centre that saw a very marginal rise, but with prices staying within $1.25. For the second week in a row, Broken Hill is selling the cheapest LPG in our viewing region. Contrary to unleaded and diesel, Port Augusta has the second cheapest at just under $1.20. Prices have also slightly fallen if you're heading to Adelaide. Remember, these prices are the regional average and do not reflect one particular outlet. If you see fuel for cheaper, let us know through our Facebook page.
Stay with us after the break. A scam warning issued ahead of tax time. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. With tax time around the corner, Spencer Gulf residents are being urged to watch out for a spike in scams. The Australian Taxation Office says fake websites are offering to provide tax file numbers and ABNs for a fee. However, instead of providing a service, they instead steal personal information and money. More than 50,000 people reported these types of scams in 2021, with victims losing more than $800,000. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather as we edge closer to the weekend. With all the details, it's good evening to Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John, and good evening to you and our viewers. It was a mainly fine day today, but don't put the umbrella away just yet with wet conditions on the way. From 3 p.m, Port Augusta was partly cloudy and 25, Port Lincoln reached 22, and Broken Hill was cloudy and 17 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Whyalla got to 24, as did Port Pirie. Clare reached 20, Kadina, Cleve and Woodner all reached 25. Cooper Pedy had the region's warmest temperature at 27, and Adelaide was partly cloudy and 21. Taking a look at the satellite image now, and thick clouds swirling into southeastern South Australia with a broad trough is causing showers and rain. Cloud further west in cool winds is causing some showers over central parts. High cloud pushing over western parts is not rain bearing. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Variable winds reaching 10 knots, seas below a metre, and the swell is south to south southwesterly, also below a metre. A mostly sunny day across the Eyre Peninsula tomorrow. Port Lincoln is expecting a high of 26 degrees. Cleve and Woodner will both be a degree warmer. Similar conditions in the upper Spencer Gulf. Whyalla is set to top 26 degrees. Port Augustus set for a top of 27. Kadina will be partly cloudy and 26. Port Pirie will be mostly sunny and 27 tomorrow. Cloud clearing in Clare. 26 expected there, and Broken Hill will be a little cooler with a top of 23. Taking a look further through the week now, and showers are returning to the region on Friday. Cooper Pedy will be 24 degrees. Port Pirie and Port Augusta are both expecting 23. Port Lincoln and Adelaide are both 22, while at Kadina and Woodner will be 21, and Broken Hill will be partly cloudy and 25 degrees. A mixed bag for Saturday. Cooper Pedy will be partly cloudy and 21. A soggy day expected in Broken Hill, 19 the top there. Woodner and Port Lincoln both partly cloudy and 19. And if you're heading to the Crows, Giants match in Adelaide, take a jacket, showers and 19 forecast there. Those wet conditions will be gone by Sunday, but it will be cool. A number of centres reaching 20. Broken Hill will be a chilly 16, while in Adelaide both 19. At least the second half of the weekend is looking clear, John, and that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will return tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Have a great evening. Good night.